Alright, so today we're going to be working on a simple mushroom saute. This is pretty much my standard way of cooking mushrooms. A lot of times I'll just saute them up until they're kind of getting brown, and then I'll bring in other vegetables, making mushroom fajitas, stir fries for pasta dishes, whatever. While we're cooking our mushrooms, we'll be working on some reishi tea here for our tasting pleasure. The reishi mushroom is typically sold dry when you can find it, and it's a pretty rare mushroom to find right now. But if you use it for tea, you're going to want to give it a good 3-hour boil at least, and you're going to want to slice this guy into some smaller chunks here. General idea is the more surface area that's exposed, then the more of the mushroom constituent you will be consuming. So there we go, getting a good cut. This is a mushroom that's been used in the Orient for several thousand years as a health tonic. Soup stocks, teas, tinctures, lots of ways to use this interesting fungus. Alright, so we're going to get that guy in our teapot here. Have it waiting for our meal when we're ready. Cut that out. Alright, so while our reishi is boiling, we're going to start cooking up some of our other mushrooms. We're going to start off with our shiitake. Shiitake is a dense-fleshed mushroom that takes a little bit longer to cook than some of these other varieties, so that's the one that's going to go in the pot first. Now, with shiitake, because they have a rather a pretty fibrous stem, so we're going to cut that off a ½ inch or so from the base of the cap. Kind of like asparagus, where it gets soft, you can feel it. Now, if I was to grill this mushroom, I would leave it completely whole, but since we're going to be sauteing them, as I said, then we're going to cut him in about a ½ inch thick slices. That's going to hold up nice with some coconut oil. Going to cook a nice crispy brown for us. Here we go, a couple more. Again, don't forget to remove the stem. Now the stems can be used for soup stocks, for medicinal teas, or they can be dried and ground up for a seasoning. Works pretty well. Alright, so then we're going to take our king oyster. This is one of my favorite mushrooms. When you buy this mushroom, a lot of times you'll see some sawdust or pieces of wood at the base. This is the substrate that it was used to be grown in. You just want to scrape that off just a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Some hairs. You can see this one has quite a bit of sawdust at the bottom. We're just going to cut that off and leave it as it is. We'll use the whole mushroom, stem and everything. Don't waste any of this guy. But we do want to slice it. Either half it sometimes, depending on how thick they are, like this small guy here. I'm just going to half that one. Generally, you want to leave your mushrooms in large chunks, large pieces, because they're going to hold up better under the heat, and it's going to give you a better bite when you're actually eating the mushroom. Okay. Next, we have lion's mane. This is one of my favorite mushrooms to eat. Again, with this mushroom, sometimes when you purchase them, you may see a little bit of sawdust at the base. Just going to cut that off. There we go. Scrape away any that might be remaining. Alright, now this mushroom, I generally do not chop it or slice it. It's got a really unique texture, and when you pull it apart, it breaks off in some nice bite-sized pieces. Excuse me. This mushroom also is excellent on the grill. Marinate the whole mushroom for 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes, not very long, and then just cook it whole on the grill. It's excellent. Excuse me. But for our saute, we're breaking them up into nice pieces. You can see where it divides from that central stem. It has almost a crab-like taste and texture. We have some chefs that use it for a vegetarian crab cake. Works quite nicely. These guys, again, they don't take as long as the shiitake or the king oyster, but they take a little bit longer than the white oyster. So we're throwing them in third. And then we're going to move on to our standard shelf oyster. We got a few varieties here. We have some white oyster, some phoenix oyster, and some yellow oyster. They're all pretty much the same in taste and texture. The yellow are a little more fragrant. The Phoenix, they cook up a little bit faster. The white oyster, they're a little more firm and maybe a little bit more fishy in taste. So, but basic recommendation for these guys is to leave them either whole or in clusters of 2 or 3 mushrooms. For example, if you bought a package of mushrooms such as this, then you do not want to cut off each individual mushroom. You would leave them in clusters. They're going to hold up better under the heat, and then when you get them on your plate, it's going to be like a nice chunk of meat. All right, there's those guys, and then again we have the Phoenix oyster here. And now with these shelf oysters, you do want to cut away the base of the stem. Here you can see some straw that it was grown in. Just cut that away, and well, take that one big shelf by itself and half this. All right. Go ahead and just break that guy in half. Here we have a cluster like this. Just trim off the base. There's a little bit of straw there, and leave it all together. Okay. Go ahead and finish breaking these guys up. These nice big fat oyster. Now this mushroom here, I would recommend something like this, halving it. All right. And again, we're going to cut away that very base of the stem. It's a little tough. Mushrooms, but that's about the biggest I'm going to leave a mushroom for the pan. Something like this, I would leave it whole, but we're going to go ahead and chop it. Kind of depends on your guest. If you're trying to feed more people, then maybe it helps to spread them out a little bit better. All right, so all these guys are cut and ready to go in the pot. We got some coconut oil here heating up for us. Coconut oil is one of the preferred oils for cooking mushrooms because it handles the high heat well. I like to give my mushrooms a kind of a quick cook on the outside so that they caramelize and develop that nice meaty texture while the inside is nice and chewy. So our kings are going in because again they take the longest cook time. Oh, listen to them starting to sizzle. These guys are excellent, fragrant mushroom. Won the king oyster won the best tasting mushroom in the world award 3 years in a row, so that vouches for its edibility. This is not a very easy mushroom to cultivate, so it's not one that we really recommend for home growers. We're going to put shiitake in now. You can see those big thick slices of shiitake. They're going to hold up really well. Got a few small buttons in here I didn't show you earlier. Shiitake obviously these are at different stages of growth. We have some that are a little bit open, some that are fully closed still. There's some that were a little bit more open. The wider open the cap gets, the softer the texture of the mushroom. So generally, closed caps are better than open. All right, so let's get all those in there. You see, look at that big, nice, beautiful, firm mushroom. They're gonna be delicious. Smelling good. All right, so we're gonna let these guys brown for just a minute, and then we will throw in our lion's mane next, and then move on to the oyster. Starting to crisp up here a little bit, getting a little brown on the bottom side. We'll just give them a little bit of a stir, and looks like, yeah. All right, I think we're ready to throw in some lion's mane here. Remember, mushrooms are 90% water, so they're going to cook down considerably. That's why we want to leave them in large, meaty chunks. The lion's mane, particularly though, soaks up a lot of oil, so we may need to add some as the cooking progresses. All right, so our mushrooms here are starting to brown, caramelize up. We'll go ahead and throw in our shelf oyster. Oh, here's a cluster I didn't get to. Now, it's a good example here. We'll leave these in groups of 3 or 4 mushrooms, keep them nice and big. The yellow, again, they're going to lose their color, but they're still going to maintain their lovely taste. Beautiful. Oh, it's a beautiful pot of skillet of mushrooms. We're going to let these guys go ahead and cook down. They're going to release their water and shrink up for us. And, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, however, we're going to get nice and brown all around, and they'll be ready to go. So we've been cooking our mushrooms here for about maybe 10 minutes or so. You can see they got a nice crispy brownness to them. They're all evenly colored, beautiful, smelling great, looking great. At the end, generally, I like to throw just a touch of soy sauce on. Oh yeah. Let it sizzle in there. It's going to help them caramelize. It's going to give them a little bit of a salty flavor. All right, beautiful. Now this is going to be an excellent base for, like we said, fajitas or stir fries. If you're going to use this for a pasta dish, then you might not want to put soy sauce in there, obviously. But regardless, it's a great meat replacement. It's going to be tasty, it's going to have great texture, and it's going to be a whole lot more healthy for you. Alright, so our mushrooms are ready here. Plate them up. I'm telling you, as a meat replacement for fajitas, it doesn't get much better than this. In the summertime, throw some big fat fungus on the grill and you are going to be one happy camper. You can see here our oyster are still nice and big. There's one of our big clusters. That's what we want. We want a good mouth feel. Our lion's mane, nice, nice. Alright, so just see if I can make you just a little bit jealous out there. Big fat oyster cap. Oh, that's what I love. That's it. The way the gills get nice and crispy. Oh, chewy inside, crispy outside. See our king oyster here, how it's caramelized so well. Magnificent. Alright, so we have a few mushrooms left that we didn't cook up. We're going to save those for later. It's really important not to store them in plastic because they will spoil so quickly. You want to use a nice cloth breathable bag or paper is fine as well. Your gourmet mushrooms are going to have a pretty decent shelf life. Shiitake and kings and lion's mane, they're going to last 5 to 7 days. Your oysters, 3 to 5. So as long as you store them properly, then they'll last for you and you can enjoy them for day after day.